I think what really helped was that during the dialogue program, I had got a lot of literature on Grameen replications and training manuals which Professor Gibbons had written. So using all those, it helped us a lot because in the initial stages, we already had ready-made training manuals which we could adapt and start our work. If we had done all this by ourselves, I think a lot of time would have gone in trial and error. So that stage of in our growth was not there. We didn't take any risks. We started off with a tried and tested methodology, and the training manuals were wonderful. Whether it was regarding setting up of branches or regarding the credit discipline in the branches, how to train up your loan officers, everything was there. So we just needed to adapt it to our country conditions, and I think those really helped us in the initial stages to be very successful. And also another thing which did help us is that the government of India had something called priority sector lending. So they mandated all public sector and private sector banks to lend to a certain segment of business. And part of priority sector lending was also microcredit. So because it was mandated, banks were forced to lend to us, to lend to the poor. So that really helped. That priority sector lending circular of the government of India, that really helped. And another thing we can say is that we learnt a lot from our peers. There were other Grameen replicators in India, and then we used to meet, we were networked, so that really helped. We used to go for exposure visits to them, and we got a lot of inputs from the founders of the earlier Grameen replications. And also Grameen Trust gave us a lot of trainings for our senior staff, and those are the things that really help. And of course, the greatest thing is that our own clients, their need was so much, so they held on to us like a lifeline. Grameen Koota was a lifeline for them. Otherwise, the alternative was a money lender who was very very high in cost. So our members, they stood with us and they followed the procedures of Grameen Koota. They used their loans well, they increased their income, so they were able to repay back. And the whole thing is, when you repay back and you to Grameen Koota repays its banks, so then the banks come and give us larger loans. So then we can also expand, So, and then also I think our staff, the staff that we recruited were just right. I mean, they were not overqualified. When you recruit overqualified staff, they get frustrated. And ours were just 10th graders or 12th graders, and the trainings that we gave them and the hard work that they have put in. And since they also came from the same segment of people we were serving, they were also passionate because they saw the changes that their work was bringing about. So they were also very passionate about their work, and they used to work long hours. Many of our staff have become experts now. They've become team leaders, and they've even come up to the management team also. All come up from the grassroots, from loan officer stage. So we are where we are today because of all these factors.
You also you've changed the structure a bit, and you're now a different type of organization. That's helpful. Just say a few words about that.
The Grameen Koota was initially in a non-profit mode, but as it became, we grew into a larger organization. It was becoming difficult because in a non-profit or a trust structure, what happens is that there are certain laws in India which do not favor trust dealing with money in the way that microfinance does. We borrow wholesale funds from banks, huge sums of money, and income tax laws do not provide for trust doing all this work. So we were on the verge of getting into some legal issues regarding that. And also it was difficult for us to grow any further, because then banks, our lenders started asking us questions on capital adequacy and all that. And being in a trust form, you cannot have any capital, and there are no owners in a trust. So, and then we saw there's so much demand there. In all the places where we were working, there were still more people coming and saying, please come and open up with us, please come and open in our area, please come and open up in our village. So if we had to expand, we needed more money. If you need more money, for getting more money, you need to show them some little bit of capital. 1/10 of whatever you want to borrow, you need to show us capital, and we didn't have that. So then we decided that we needed to grow into a company where we could hold capital, and that capital would help us raise that much amount of wholesale funds which are required to expand our work.
I know you're on limited time, and I'm so appreciative of your time. Let me ask one final question, is that you have an incredible goal for 2011. Talk to us about what that goal is and what the challenges are of achieving that.
I think the goal is highly achievable because of the large population of the unbanked that we have.
Tell them what the goal is.
Yeah, by 2011, we would like to reach out to 20 lakh households in India, across India.
2 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
20 lakh, 2 million across India. Not just, right now we are working only in Karnataka, the southern state, but we are looking at reaching out to more people across other states in India. And I think that it is eminently achievable because we know our processes, we have the methods, we have the bankers behind us, and now we have investors also who are ready to bet on us, and it is highly achievable. The challenges would be HR, managing, recruiting, training and developing our HR to scale up to these.
Primarily loan officers.
Loan officers.
I just met with your HR person. I guess 80% of your employees are loan officers.
Yes. And I think having the necessary MIS and IT in place. And
but boy, you've made big strides recently. I was just seeing the new MyFOS program.
Yeah.
It's so exciting to hear about how that's so different than what you had. And like Grameen Foundation continues to really play a major role in helping you.
Yes, definitely a major role in helping us with the MyFOS. And other things we are looking at is offering insurance products, savings products for our members. Those are what are needed for them. This insurance is like a safety net. So we have piloted health insurance, but we'd like to see it panned across to all our members. Now it's just limited, but we'd like to see more of our members covered under health insurance especially.
Now you can't take deposits, you're not a bank, so in replicating the Grameen model you really can't do a really key part. Do you ever see you're being able to take deposits?
Well, we are lobbying very hard. We have a network in Delhi of microfinance institutions, and we are lobbying very hard with the regulator and with the government, because savings of the poor will never get accumulated, because they're so minute, they're so small. It's just 10 rupees, that is 25 cents. No bank in the world will be able to absorb that kind of savings, to go and collect that type of savings. And it's not possible for these unbanked to approach a bank to deposit just 25 cents.
Yeah.
For them it would not be cost effective.
As we close, is there something I haven't asked you, some piece of wisdom that you would like to share?
I think microfinance has to be closely linked to the Millennium Development Goals, and how it can help in achieving the Millennium Development Goals of halving poverty by 2015. It is such a strong tool for achieving the Millennium Development Goal of halving poverty by 2015. So that connection in the media has to be made that this is the way to go. Microfinance is the way to go to halving poverty.
Yes. Well, I honor you. I just think in terms of what an incredible legacy you have created and are going to leave. And it's such a privilege to be with you and your people. I'll continue to love to watch and be connected with your organization. And thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
your
Marty.
time.
Yeah.